More reports on the Trump tax cuts are coming out now. And as most would guess what it turned out they were? Just a big giveaway to the rich, once again. So, Big Donnie giving money away to the rich. Not that that's surprising to anybody, but you now have some full research behind this, the new report that came out. It is a new Congressional Research Service report. It shows the 2017 Republican tax law had a very muted impact on overall economic growth. Rather, the main consequence was that real tax rates for corporations fell by nearly half, while individual income taxes barely budged. The law, this is from Vox, by the way. The law, which was the GOP's proudest legislative accomplishment during the party's 2 years of total control of Washington, has somehow been all but forgotten, ignored by squeamish supporters unsure how to sell a gigantic corporate tax cut to normal people, and mostly left to rot by Democrats who see more value in hitting GOP over healthcare or other issues. It's remarkably anonymous major legislation from a self-promoter like Donald Trump. That is intentional, by the way. The GOP decided back around the 2018 midterms that the popularity was so low for those tax cuts that they decided, hey, let's not even bring these up. Let's not draw any attention to them, because if we do draw any attention to them, then we're opening ourselves up to more negative attention and more criticism. So let's just leave them be and just hope that nobody even brings them up. So back to the article here, but maybe that shouldn't surprise us if there was any remaining doubt that the Republican tax law was a lopsided giveaway to the corporate sector while offering negligible benefits for American workers. These findings should quell it. Here is the key sentence from the CRS. From 2017 to 2018, the estimated average corporate tax rate fell from 23.4% to 12.1%. And individual income taxes as a percentage of personal income fell slightly from 9.6% to 9.2%. Otherwise, GDP growth has been level with pre-tax cut projections. Wage growth was marginal and slower than GDP, and while companies did use their windfall from the tax cut, as Vox's Emily Stewart has been covering, quote, relatively little was directed to paying worker bonuses. It's difficult to overstate just how weak the tax law's influence was. Investments in U.S. businesses did not seem to respond at all to the law's provisions. So yes, I mean, we had known that this was going to happen for a while now in terms of these tax cuts that the GOP passed. We basically knew this, hey, this is a massive giveaway to the rich and corporations. They basically have a sunset provision on the ones that are for anybody that's basically outside of the 1%, where after 10 years they're completely gone anyway and your taxes go up. And basically everybody had said at the time, hey, listen, these tax cuts aren't for regular people. They're not for small businesses. They're for giant corporations. They're for the wealthy. And what they're going to use with the money that they get from these is not what you think that they're going to do with it. They're not going to use it to improve workers' wages to the scale that they need to be improved. They're not going to use it to improve worker bonuses to the point that they need to be improved. They're not going to typically use it to improve the workplace environment or just randomly hire more people. That's just not the way it works. That's that completely debunked version of trickle-down economics where you say, oh, you know what, you give the rich more money and they'll just randomly create jobs even when there's no demand for it. So we knew that was coming, and now we just have it right in front of us in this report that now shows exactly what it ended up doing. So for anybody that was disputing that, saying that somehow that was a wrong take to say that this is what these tax cuts were going to do, you now have the proof in the pudding from the CRS itself. And the final thing I did want to say about that is, while the Republicans were trying to say, you know what, this will go down to the workers and this will help create more jobs, what it really helped do was it not only did it obviously cut the corporate tax rate a ton, but it gave more loopholes to corporations and the rich. And it also ended up giving them more money, where they ended up doing stock buybacks and making more money for themselves. And that's really all they did with it. And then they hoarded more money. So rather than actually invest in their workers or create more jobs for workers in America, they end up going ahead and making themselves more money, saving more, and paying less in taxes, investing more, and doing stock buybacks for their own companies. So that way them and their shareholders can get filthy rich even more off of the federal government, basically, because the federal government is what is giving this away. So obviously that cost the United States trillions of dollars to do this over 10 years, or it will cost the United States trillions of dollars to do this over 10 years. And the Democrats should continue hitting them on this because it is proving to be a complete failure. We knew it from the beginning that it was just a big giveaway to the rich, and now they're trying to hide from it. So don't let them hide from it. Bring them back out into the light again, take them out of the shadows, and beat them with a stick over the fact that all they did was do a major giveaway to corporations and the wealthy and try to frame it like they're doing something for the workers in the United States. Because that's exactly what they didn't do. And if you think for any reason at all, maybe a couple of these Republicans were ideological in the way that they supported this, they just want to cut taxes. But 99.9% of them that are elected in office Republicans that voted for this, they knew that, and they lied to their voters' faces, and they lied to the public's faces about what the effects of this tax cut would have. They knew what it was really for, and they lied to you. And I think basically everybody that's not even just a progressive, but a Democrat saw that coming from a mile away, that these tax cuts were terrible. And now they're trying to hide from them. And I think they're getting off a little bit too easy on this. This is a huge deal. Cost the government trillions of dollars to do this, all for nothing, all for no impact for the average American citizen whatsoever. So I hope they're happy about it. Their friends and their family members all got a huge amount of money out of this, while the American worker is still in the same spot as they were before this. So I just want to let all of you guys know this. Like I said, it was kind of obvious that this is what was going to happen, but now you have the actual CRS report to shove in Republicans' faces, or anybody that tries to argue in favor of the tax cut from here on and say, these are the facts. It didn't work. It didn't help American workers. And all it was a gigantic giveaway to the rich and corporations in this country. And that's what the Republicans are about.